welcome back everybody, welcome back to, well, the morning drawing. As you can see, it's the morning drawing. Woo. So yeah, today we're gonna be working on this bad boy right over here. So we're gonna make ourselves some nice little hand for our handy dandy work. Duh. So, yeah, um, let's get started on this bad boy. And, one more thing, I'm just gonna be putting this not in fully in front, but I'm just baffled about something, and I want that in my fucking face, so I can read it properly. While writing, while drawing, of course. Who said that I cannot write and draw, well, draw and do things at the same time? Anyway, let's get started. So yeah, let's see. We need this one then, right? Yes, we need this one. All right. Then we need this. Yes. All right. So, the idea here is that we're going to be working on this, and then hopefully, you know, we are going to make some nice looking, fine drawing. It's just, you know, really hard sometimes to do things right. But yeah, I have been taking a look into what I was actually baffled about. Don't spoil anything, but I actually have been reading some things like, you know, a book. And this book actually released back in I believe a year ago? Probably already. It has been a year. So this book is actually a book of from D&D itself. So from Magic, yeah, from Wizards of the Coast. But the funny thing is, actually, when I took a greater look at it, it did provide me from something that I want to test something, what I want to test out. So as you know, in the original D&D book, you have the human, variety, as said before. And it's quite funny that apparently they put that back in. So what they, you piece of shits. I really hate it when I misuse the wrong layer. This is the right layer. Yes, this is the right layer. There you go. It's the right layer right now. First things first, I need to make sure that I have this one. Yeah, alright, cool. So what I'm going to be drawing here are the claws itself. Let's see, do I want to go for big? 5. Yeah, that's doable. Yeah. Whoa. Alright. That's some. Then those are some chunky ass claws. That's for sure. Probably gonna be changing that up later, but first I need to have some basic knowledge upon how I'm gonna be drawing this. Because what I want to do here is that I'm gonna be looking forward to see, like, oh well, this is how the hand reacts, and then go from there on. Is not the way to do it. I need to make sure that I have. If I have it like this, it means that this hand right here then doesn't make any sense. Well, it should be making sense, so I should definitely remove then this one, this part right here. Yeah. So the main problem was that the variety of the human variety is actually the same. Human variety actually does almost the same as the one from the newest book. So you remove every single fucking feature that the class has, and every single benefit that the class has, and the only thing that you're gonna get is +2 in one ability are 3 feet, and well, you can change whether you want to be small or medium, and then you're also considered humanoid. So nothing else. It's just humanoid. So yeah, +2. It's decent. The feat is absolutely ridiculously good. As I said before, well, I never said it before, but feats are one of the most important things that you ever could get in D&D. Feats are like, oh well, you just could go for +1 or +2. Yes, but feats are so beneficial. The main reason why you should pick up a feat sometimes is like, well, you want to put some more characterization into your character. Well, you can do that with a feat. Like for instance, you want to hit really hard. Well, then you're gonna pick up a feat that makes sure that you do hit really hard. And because you're not technically an elf or a human, technically you're a humanoid with dark vision. That's like really insane good. Because dark vision is a thing that you like to have. You could also pick proficiency if you want to, but that's like meh, meh. Proficiency, meh. Dark vision, on the other hand, oh yes, please. I don't want to toy around with fire. Well, dark vision it is. So the main reason why this is actually so mind-bogglingly, stupidly OP, if I may say so myself, is actually because of the feat. Technically, human variant is also very good, but the downside of human variant is that you don't have dark vision, which is a real downside, because technically you always need to carry a torch with you, and that makes things really annoying. That's why you never go for the, well, the normal human also doesn't have for dark vision, but you know, it's human. Eh. But feats, on the other hand, are really handy dandy. But yeah, be able to pick also dark vision really makes things really nice, really soothing. But since it is technically a humanoid, it doesn't. It means like, well, look at that. That's a crossbreed. Well, then why don't you just pick up a half elf then? Because technically a half elf is already, crossbreed. A half elf, a half orc, all those things, they already exist. Why the fuck would you go then for humanoid? It's like, what? Did you forgot to spell something, or did you forgot your biology class? So yeah, like, oh no, I want to be a devil child. Well, then pick up a fucking devil child. They are literally in the book. You want to be a dragonborn? Well, you go for a dragonborn. It doesn't help that there is already an establishment of crossbreeds and half-breeds and all that stuff. Also some original races. And then having this, well, how did they spell it out? I think they spell it out like, this is a kin. Well, congratulations, it's a kin. Oh. Yeah, if you ever, and then they are like, well, you could be an elf. Well, technically you're not an elf because you don't possess the elf ancestry, therefore you're not an elf. You're a crossbreed. And crossbreeds are, well, you know, crossbreeds. They are not supposed to be, they're supposed to be either being disgusted by society normally, because, you know, society is a fucking racist when it comes in middle times. Especially high elves and all that stuff. Like, yeah, you want to be a half elf crossbreed? Well, congratulations, every fucking elf hates you. that is normally the case, especially in the. But yeah, then you could better go for half elf because it actually makes more sense. And technically, a half elf is way better because the stats ratio is much more nicer for you to go for. Let's see. So if I am gonna go for this. Yeah, I will go for this kind of look and go for this. So this is a sketch drawing again. Now I need to get this cancelled out. Now I need to cancel this out so I can see stuff. Alright, I can see stuff now. What is the problem here? Let's see. So what is the problem here that it makes it more so annoying? Let's see. quite funny. By the way, yeah. So it is an interesting subject to think about. Like, yeah, you have crossbreeds, and those crossbreeds, you know, you want to make even more specialized crossbreeds. It's like, no, just invent a whole new race. That's way easier. So what you could do with this kind of, you know, shenanigans what's going on with dark vision and all that stuff and extra feet, you could go for like, I want to make a humanoid. Alright, how are you gonna call it? I'm gonna call it the Unga Bunga. Alright? Well, not Unga Bunga. The Goat Stabber, yes. The humanoid Goat Stabber. So, what is a humanoid Goat Stabber? Well, you're gonna go for a Goat Stabber. You're gonna be going for a Goat Fanatic. You're probably wondering what a Goat Fanatic is? Well, you mean you see a goat, you stab the goat. That's how easy Goat Stabbers work. That explains the name. So these goat worshipping fanatics, you know, they are called humanoids. They look not like goats. They don't act like goats. They are just humanoid looking creatures that possess the power of skulking. Yes, they possess the power of skulking. What does skulking mean? Well, if you are hidden from sight and you shoot a big giant lightning bolt in somebody's face and you miss, they are like, oh, it must be the wind. So yes, if you make a range attack on somebody and you miss the attack, well, making the range attack, it's like, you already have advantage and you miss the attack? How the hell did you miss? So yeah, that's a thing that you could make. So technically, you could make a humanoid that looks like a human, but is like a magically gifted human. Well, then you should actually pick up the human variant. See, that is the point that I'm going here. And well, there is a lot of things that you could go for. Let's see. What could you go for? Well, you could go for, I don't know, a zombie. Well, zombies are technically not humanoid, they're undead. Well, you're gonna say, well, this is a sluggish zombie. Works for me. What you better could do for is like, yeah, there is already a lot of creatures in the game itself that are not considered humanoid. So zombies are not considered humanoid. Scallymans are not considered humanoid. What you could then go for is like, you know, plants, plant creatures. They are not humanoid. They are considered plants. Well, if you go for a plant sentient monster, like a plant-like sentient monster, then yes, you could go for a humanoid kind of monster. The only downside is then you need to find a good feat that works around with the lore of this creature, which is the main problem, because most of the feats are used for combat or anything else like that. They don't grant too much speciability. They only grant speciability in combat or in roleplay, but they don't grant too much of a perk. Because they don't grant too much of a perk, it means that they are, well, problematic to use, because most feats are either race depending, or they are, well, you know, how do you say, not race depending, and they are more focused on combat or combat encounters or social encounters. Which means that, well, you're just a specialized dude with an ability to craft something good. I don't know, or have a lot of weapon mastery. Such a great feat. Yeah, that means that the specialty of, you know, creating these creatures, like, well, could it fly? Could it dig? Could it, I don't know, entangle somebody and making sure he dies? No. You cannot do that because technically you don't have the feat for it. You could go for grappler, but then go for a human variant. That's much easier, and you're just a human now. It's like, I see, and the main issue with that is like, yeah, the only way you could make this special is if you are able to pick up a feat from other races to add to your collection. So if you could go for a feat from the Dragonborn, and then the next time you pick up a feat that you could actually go pick a feat from the elves, for instance. So you have different feats from different races, and those races could you chuckle up and eat up pretty good. So yeah, I think that is an excellent idea, and I think that is a good way to do things. And the only downside is, well, you just could go for something else. Well, that is indeed a thing. But if you could pick up races that would, if you could pick up multiple feats from different races, it would be unbalanced, because technically they have been balanced around the race itself. So if you could pick up, like, if you could pick up a half-orc trait and then you pick up an elven trait, that makes it really unbalanced, or it's like, what? And that makes it, yeah, it's a little bit difficult. But yeah, that was the thing I was working around with, like, how can I make this stupid feature, well, not stupid, but how can I make this interesting feature that is already existing in the game, that is now implemented, like, this is something special, make it more special so that it actually works, instead of being like, I could have just picked up human fairy and then I would have been way better off. It's like, good point. Good point, good point, good point indeed. So the only way you could technically work around with it is if you could go for the nimble feat, because technically the nimble feat is connected to small races and not to dwarves or gnomes specially, or goblins specially. So technically you could go for technically a small character, but then the main issue is then, since that you only can get the Constitution +2, you're still better off making just a dwarf, because technically a dwarf is has more benefits. It has poison resistance, it has this, it had that, it has this, it had that. Poison resistance, armor proficiency most likely, or what was the other one? More HP. Yes, more HP. So it's either more HP or armor proficiency, which is really good. Also, you have macing. You have also a tool proficiency, and that makes it very interesting indeed to see that you technically would have been better off picking up just a dwarf, or just pick up a half elf. You get so many more benefits, so much better benefits than just picking up, yeah, I'm just gonna pick up this feat, that makes me special. Alright, I will pick up a gnome and I will pick up the same feat at level 5 and I will be as good as you, and even better. So, yeah, there is nothing special about it. There is nothing absolutely special about it, because technically, yes, this character could pick up 2 feats. Yes, true. But technically, if a dwarf would reach level 5, it would actually have been having the same benefits as the person that is level 1. And most likely the benefits that the dwarf gets in the early times is much more beneficial, because poison is a really dick move to use, most likely, because, well, poison has many benefits, like putting you to sleep, paralyzing you to make sure you die in horror, or making sure you die from poison. Also making sure that drinking games are no fun, because you always will win, because you have poison resist, most likely. The other hand, if you go for lucky, which most halflings have, is, well, a halfling could actually make the lucky feat even better. And, well, halflings are really good. Definition mage with lucky feat, that's evil. And yeah, most likely these feats are so much more better if you're, picking up an actual race instead of making your own. I'm a unique person, I will do this like that. Yeah, that is the whole damn downside of it. And I was like reading through it, like, well, technically, if you could have used different races as feats, you can just pick up a feat, but technically they're all sealed behind big giant walls. So yeah, So if that would work, I would have picked it, but somehow, because they're sealed behind metal doors and you cannot pick up the race feats, because they're, specialized upon the races, it won't work. So that comes to my conclusion to like, well, yeah, that is a problem. That's indeed a problem. It's a problem indeed by a long shot. So yeah, was I done? No, I was not done. But if you could pick up the races, the class race feature, so if you could pick up if you could pick up the race features instead of the only regular features which are to oh my god, this is great, but only in combat great or only in roleplay great, and it's like yes, definitely. So yeah, if it would be able to get the race features and then add those to your collection, that would be amazing. You'd be able to like, don't mind me taking this feature from you, and this feature from you, and this feature from you, and I have now a very cool looking character. Yes, that would be awesome. If you could be able to do that, that would be a very amazing feature. But therefore, you need to be a DM actually, because technically it's not allowed. And then you're like, well, what is the point in not picking this race? Absolutely nothing, because it is absolutely terrible. That is the main problem with it. It is such a meh generic. It's literally just, I will use this brush to make this mannequin live. Boom. Shalabim. Shalabam. And then, you have this mannequin who does absolutely nothing because technically everybody else is better than him. Wow, that's a great character design. A mannequin would actually be a very fun thing to make, but technically it's considered a construct, so therefore it's not humanoid. Well, unless, Faye just says like, well, I'm gonna make this a humanoid, and then it's like, crap, we have Pinocchio now. So yeah, and now we're gonna make it. Now we're gonna go back to making this look detailed enough. We need to go to, yes, 65. All right. So yeah, the whole damn point of making sure that things look great, act great, that all makes it really hard for me to understand that this class feature, this race feature is like meh. It doesn't say anything. It says only like, you could make a crossbreed by using this, and it's like, I would be better off using the original stuff, because technically that is way better and way more balanced technically. Because of course, some features are really strong, but technically if you go for human variant, it is actually way better, except in the dark vision. But human variant gets +1/+1 in 2 places instead of 1/2, I believe. Also, the feat that also it's a human, so technically, nothing else will happen, because technically humans are way more, easier to introduce to a group. It's like, well, you just have a human in your group. Oh, a human, what does a human do? And it's like, I don't know what a human does. Does it breed? Does it act? And then you're like, well, technically it does. So yeah, humans are easier to introduce or whatever. But yeah, I could see it work, but only if the big if, only if it is able to get from point A to point B. Therefore, it's important that these therefore it's important that these how do you say that? Therefore, it's important that these if I want to make sure that I can use this, I need to speak to my DM or whatever person who is hosting, and I would ask like, can I use this? It doesn't say it in the book. And then the person most likely gonna say, well, if it is not in the book, you cannot do it. Blah 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 blah. And then you're like, then I would be better off just picking up a regular human. So yeah, that's the thing. But of course, I do have some things that you could go for. Technically, goblins are, just goblins, but I would say like gremlins are not goblins, considered to be, they're humanoids technically. So when you go for a gremlin, that is actually one thing that you could go for. I'm not talking about the Magic the Gathering gremlins, of course. I'm talking about the cool looking gremlins that shoot blunderbusses. Yeah, those things are great. The Arabian gremlins, they look like, those people that are really creepy looking. Yeah, those things are great to make. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. I should not have done that yet. Nope, 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 nope. Remove, remove, remove. I just need to do this in the later version. Otherwise I will be getting my ass kicked. So what I'm doing here is making sure that I have So what I'm doing right now is just getting things started from this on. I know that this is going to be taking a while to do, and I'm not looking at the time because, I don't want to look at the time right now. I want to work on this. Alright, so first things first, I need to make sure that I have this properly corrected. Alright, now we're gonna put the parts that we need. So one there, one there, one there. So the main issue is that the how do you say, D&D PDF that is released. Alright, there is already a PDF released on that book. It is so obnoxious on reading. It's like, why the fuck am I reading this when there is grammatica problems, there are spelling problems, and even I can read that kind of shit. Like, I know that I cannot write properly, alright? But these people are like, what the hell? These people are supposed to be professional and they release a book that was full of spelling mistakes. Who pre-readed this and just said like, well, it's all fine. Just do it. Just make sure that it's all working fine. It's like, well, this is gonna give me a headache for reading all these rules, because all the rules are terribly explained most of the time, and therefore, it's like, do you implement this? Do you implement that? Do you implement this? And then it's like, well, looks like I'm back to square one most of the times. So yeah, the rules are not very correctly placed. It's very very annoying. And when you want to play a proper class, it's like, well, technically, if the DM reads like this, he could mean this. But if I would read it like this, then I would mean this instead of that. And then, you get this whole wobbly wobbly conversations, which are really pain in the ass to deal with because everybody's thinking that they're right. Well, the rules don't say clearly who is in the right and who is in the wrong. Which means that is a problem. Also, some of the features that the classes get are a little bit OP. Yeah, a little bit, just a casual bit, just a little bit bullshit OP. Like, for instance, the Rune Knight. Oh, well, don't mind me. I now rule as large. You know what the large rules say, right? You just gonna be, and you're dead. That's exactly how large rules work, because you actually implement that since the rules with the large rules, you now deal double damage almost, and that is a little bit too much for some people. And some critters are not based to deal with large creatures, trust me. If something has like 20 HP and you deal 3d6 damage, oh no, wait, 6d6 damage, yeah, you see problem already. That creature is gonna be dead. That creature is gonna be totally dead. Because 20, well, you know, in most cases it will be probably dead. Because 3 times, then you also need to add the strength modifier, who is also times 2. So strength modifier of 4 times 2 is 8. So 8 on 3d6s. Then you also have a second attack, which then, well, technically they're all separate, so you have 8 damage times 3. So 8 damage times 3 is how much again? 24, I believe? No, 18? Oh, wait, let's see. 9 is 24, yes. Wait, 27 minus 3 is 24, yeah. 24. So you already deal 24 damage because you rolled 3 separate dice who all have the attack modifier of times 2 on the strength modifier. So therefore, bleh. You just literally do this. I will attack. Bush. I will attack again. Bush. And third attack. Well, I think he's now dead, isn't he? No. Bush. And then, you know, you splat him like, you know, a fly just getting flied over and blep. And he died. So yeah, the amount of stuff that is happening, whoa, that's a lot of stuff. So let's see, is that claw looking great? Yes, that claw looks great, awesome. Don't mind me now adding some more stuff to it. That's why I'm putting now a layer down. Is this worth it? No, then this is not the way to do it. This is why it's so important to make sure that that's why I'm doing it on different layers, so that I can see like what is the best option here. I believe this is the best option. Go for light drawing on this side. So go for light skills on the top side, and then go for heavy skills on the bottom side of this. That will make the effect lasting better. So yeah. Do it. Now, since we are doing it like this, then that should work. Allow me to double check how late it is already. 30 minutes in, alright. Fine. I've been talking non-stop. That might not be a very good idea, but alright. It is me talking, come on. It is early in the morning and I was looking at something while, you know, thinking about this, like, I really should start drawing again. And that's like, yes. Actually, yes. So, yeah. I think in most cases, the book does provide some possibilities, but it does have some very, very, very high knockbacks upon it, because holy fucking shit, it's terrible in some cases. Ugh. But yeah, I hope that once I'm done figuring out how to do it or how to make it properly work, I will ask some friends of mine to say like, what do you think of it? What do you think of my idea? And then probably they will say like yes, no, maybe, and then see if it would be allowed. Because that is actually a quite unique mechanic, and I really like that kind of mechanic. Look at that. That makes it look really cool. All right, that makes it look like a real cool claw. All right, I made the right decision to do this like that. If I didn't choose this, then I would have been gone. Definitely. I'm quite happy how everything turns out anyway. I'm very happy upon reaching it this way, because therefore, you know, I will be able to get from point A to point B. Even though this might look like, you know, a lot of busy work, because technically we're gonna draw over the stone skin, but this gives me a better sight on how things work and how things look, and I can add the stone skin on top of it to make it look more better, and therefore I can adapt on the drawing when I'm drawing the stone bricks. Even though, you know, it might not look like stone bricks, it does gonna be looking like stone bricks. Well, rocky texture at least. Molten lava rocky texture. There you go. Way better name for it. Molten lava rocky texture. So yeah, a lot of work is going on here, and hopefully, you know, this is all gonna be working fine. I hope so, though. There you go. So yeah, so what I'm doing here is literally just crossing the line. So what I'm doing is actually this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2, 3, 4, like this. So that is what I'm doing. Of course, I'm not doing it like that intensely. I'm doing it like lightly. So I'm touching the pencil really, really lightly. So I'm literally striking the brush while writing it down. So as you can see, there you go. Which creates the texture that I want. Which of course is the main idea of what I'm gonna be doing here. Anyway. So yeah, of course, you know, the more I draw, the better it gets, but it all takes a long time to do this. Anyway. And you know. Okay! My mom just came home. So let's see. This is what I need to do, and this is how I'm gonna be doing it. And then once I'm done with this, I will call it a day. Because, you know, we're technically, you know, not even there. We only one claw. And, well, you know, there are more than one claws. That is the idea. And then I will be trying to figure out what I'm going to be doing with the D&D character that I make. And then hopefully, you know, get some stuff done. See how this is all going to be working out. And see if I can meddle around with it. Probably. Well, technically, I would be able to get meddling around with it. Alright. Now I've done that, I need to make sure that I put this inside of a map, because I'm sure I'm gonna be doing this in 2 layers. I am not gonna be wasting this on the same layer as that, so I won't be drawing, like, you know, the other skin here and there without you know, removing a lot of stuff here. There you go. So as you can see, this is already how it's gonna be. This is how it's gonna be looking, the hand. And then once we add the metal claw on top of it, you can already see, like, there are some parts that are gonna be visible and some parts that are not gonna be visible. And that is the idea what we're gonna be achieving here. So that's how things is gonna be working. Anyway, thanks all for watching, and I hope you all have enjoyed this part, and I hope I'll see you all next time. Until then, I wish you all a lovely day, and well, bye!